Hey guys, welcome to the 26 YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Marvel Studios' Eternals. I have watched this film now a current number of 2 times. I watched it day one, I believe, when it was in cinemas, or it might have been the day after, and my first initial thoughts when I left the cinema was, I liked the film. It was a good film. It wasn't amazing, it wasn't bad, it was definitely not what I expected, and it was very different for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then the second time I watched it was literally last night. I watched it on Disney Plus because it's just come back out on Disney Plus now, and this my second time viewing. I'm not sure if I liked it as much. I think it's because this film is a cinematic masterpiece, as in like visually it is a stunning film, and I feel like certain scenes with the Celestials is like you have to be in a theatre to properly admire those scenes, because those scenes are beautiful at times, especially at the end when you've got the Celestial's hand coming out of like the planet. Like it's just like it doesn't hit the same when you're watching it on your TV screen at home, but when you're sat in the theatre, I remember like being like, wow, this is incredible when I was watching this for the first time. I know it's a weird place to start the review, saying like my thoughts of the film straight away, but I feel like if you guys know that I'm a bit 50-50 on this film, it'll help with the review. But let's talk about the things I liked about the film first, and then we can go into the things I didn't like. Yeah, so like I said, visually, like going through the things I liked visually, this film was just brilliant. I believe the director who directed this film was nominated for an Oscar before this film, and that's when I knew this is going to be like special. Like I knew this film was going to look great, but I was really blown away. Like in the theater day one, I was really like mesmerized, and even when I was watching it at my desk yesterday on Disney Plus, I was still very pleased with how the film looked. Especially with the MCU nowadays, like I feel like weirdly the CGI in some recent MCU projects hasn't been that great. I'm not really sure why. Like even for an example, I use Spider-Man: No Way Home. Brilliant film, one of my favorite films of all time. But there were certain points in that film where the CG looked a little bit off. I know like there's been clips going around of, certain scenes. I'm not going to spoil that. Certain scenes being switched during the film's release, which is a bit weird, but I think this is one of the best looking Marvel Cinematic films we've ever had. Now let's dive into some of the characters. I'll start with, because we talk about things I like right now, I'm going to start with Sprite, which is a bit of a weird one to start with, because I know a lot of people, especially when the film first came out, did not like Sprite's character, and I'll be honest, I am also one of those, because I don't know, there's certain points of her character which can come across, I guess, like maybe too arrogant, but I really like her character arc of the Peter Pan, as they say in the film. She's Tinkerbell, Icarus is Peter Pan. She's trapped in this child's body, but she's thousands of years old, and she just wants to experience things that adults can experience, but she can't because she's trapped in this child's body. And I think one of the most powerful shots in the film comes like very early on, and that's when she's at the bar talking to this guy, and she's illusioned herself to look like a woman, and she's not. And she says to the guy, "Oh, I think you've drunk too much," and then she walks off. And I think that's a really powerful scene, and I really like that about her character arc. I am just gonna apologise quickly because this is the first time I've ever done a review, and it is gonna be a little bit all over the place, but oh well, that's kind of like how I do it. So the next thing, because I've just got notes here that I'm kind of just going off, because I was writing these notes as I was watching the film yesterday. And next thing I've got down is the deviants, which is weird because this is still in the categories of things I like to write. I thought when I was watching the trailers, I was very worried and skeptical about what the deviants characters were gonna be like, because they kind of just looked like like these weird space dogs. They weren't gonna have much character to them, but I actually really liked what they did to them, especially the main one. But I thought the character arc at the very end was a bit what I feel like is that at the end of this film, a lot of things were rushed and just were happening. Too much was happening at once. But overall, I did like what they did with the deviants. I thought it was cool. Now let's get into some things I didn't like. I think the film is too long for. I think, well, it had to be long, but I don't think this film works with so many characters. You've got, is it 10 main characters you are introduced at once to a whole new audience, because a lot of Marvel fans or MCU fans will not know of the Eternals, and there's a lot of characters to be thrown at them at once. Obviously, fans from the comics will know, but even then, they've changed the characters a lot. Some have changed genders, some have changed race, or like changed personalities completely. People need to get used to these new characters, but I think they did a lot of good with the. You know what? Let's talk about each character. I did like, actually. The standout characters for me were Makari was my favourite. I love a speedster. I love Quicksilver. Even if we go to DC, even though I'm not a massive DC fan, I love the Flash. I think Makari was really cool. I think the way they used her, they didn't do the classic, slowing down time, headphones in the ears, sort of like that sort of like speedster thing. They changed it up, and I really like how they did her speed scenes. I really like Thastos. I thought he was sick when I remember the scene that sticks in my head so much when I was watching it yesterday was when he grabs Icarus when he's in the air and he just slams him down on the floor. Like Thastos is a really strong character, and I really liked him. I thought Drug was good, and I thought who's Kingo's assistant. I thought he was really funny. Karun is his name. I got it, sir. I thought all that was brilliant and just funny and fun, and that's what the film needed a lot more, because whenever he was on the screen it was funny. Sometimes when he wasn't on screen and the rest of them were trying to make jokes, it almost came across as cringy. And then the characters I didn't like, I don't know why. Ajax just didn't speak to me as a character. I thought her death was really rushed, or I saw Icarus's portrayal, or him killing her, or I guess he didn't kill her, but he give her to the deviants. I thought that was really easy to see. I remember sitting there in the audience and going, yeah, I saw that coming. That's not really much of a twist. I know some people might have thought it was, but I saw it coming from a mile off. I thought Athena, Angelina Jolie's character, was really underused, because Angelina Jolie is a phenomenal actor. But I don't know. I like the whole, her forgetting everything, and she's trying to remember, and she's is showing a lot of I guess shining light on mental health, which is an incredibly good thing, by the way. If your mental health's not in a good state, go see a doctor, please. But I'm not sure. It's just something about her character. I feel like they had such a good actor, and she was heavily underused, and they could have done a lot more. Sorry, my phone is not my phone. My controller is very low in charge. What else have I got written down here? Oh yes, I've written down here, on a second viewing, you realise how much Spirit likes Icarus. I noticed when they're at the wedding, you see everyone else is smiling and so happy for Cersei and Icarus, and then you just see Sprite in the middle, and she looks pissed off. And there's also a scene when they're going to visit Ajax's house, and Spirit's leaning, sleeping on Icarus's shoulder, and I was just there's just little hints you get, and you don't. I didn't see it coming that she liked Icarus. I thought that was quite a cool thing, and Kingo alludes to it, doesn't he, halfway through the film? And I don't know why, a second time viewing, I really like Sprite's character. I don't know why. I really didn't I wasn't a massive fan myself when I first watched the film, but yeah. So overall, I think I'm going to give this film a very solid 7 out of 10, maybe 6.9, just because This film is good. It has a lot of flaws, but it's overall, like when I came out of the cinema and when I watched it last night, it's still a good film. Like, I still recommend you to watch it. If I'm guessing if you're coming here, you've already watched it, but I would still recommend a friend to watch this film and say give it a go. It's not for everybody. You might like it, you might not, but that's the way I stand with it. I think that's where we're gonna leave it today. Thank you so much for watching this, guys. Please subscribe, like it. I don't really know what YouTubers say. Yoopy doopy doo, do all that kind of crap. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.